Welcome to the Talking About Life podcast. I'm your host, Ian Lepkowski, Kowski on Twitter. Now, today we have an interesting situation because our guest is not here. Usually, we have our guest come in about 5 minutes before, we do a sound check, and then we start on the hour. We're at the hour, no guest though. So I see a couple people in the audience. If you guys want to talk and just make it something different than the interview is supposed to be until I figure out either what's going on with my guest or if he totally bailed, I don't really know. Um, we're connected on Twitter and WhatsApp. I reached out both places, nothing yet. So we could either just, hang out and wait together and hope it's just like maybe it's just like 5 minutes late kind of thing, or or if, if you guys don't fucking feel like hanging around for that, you could close down the space. We could interview one of you. We could switch it to talking about nihilism or WME. I don't know. I've been hit with an unprecedented scenario here. So we'll see what happens. I don't see anyone requesting up for speaker. If you want to come up, just request up. In the meantime, I'm gonna keep WhatsApping Papelito and see what's going on with them and see if we can get him on stage here. Okay, he said on WhatsApp, give him 1 minute, he's coming. Looks like he's just running late. So if you guys want to hang around for like, I don't know, another 1, 2, 3 minutes or something, I think he should be here pretty soon. He did respond, so I'm optimistic. I believe him, and we'll hang for a minute, and he should be in soon. Otherwise, I hope your Monday's going well. Hope you're having a good start to your week. Hope you kick off your week with good vibes and good energy and good people around you, good situations. So we're just gonna wait a few more minutes here, and then we'll have our guest. What's up, Papelito? Can you hear me? Okay. If you just unmute, you could talk back to me. Mute should be in the bottom left of your screen there. But Papelito, what's going on? Can you hear me?
My man, I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you as well.
Oh,
Okay. Let me just redo the intro here.
please. And I'm
And
so
then we'll
sorry, man. I just got out of a huge meeting I was not expecting to have today.
it's okay, just a couple minutes. I'm gonna redo the intro here, and then we'll kick it off,
Thank
okay?
you so much. Yeah.
Welcome to the Talking About Life podcast. I am your host, Ian Lepkowski, also known as Kowski.eth on Twitter. I am incredibly happy today to have yet another guest on the show here on the Talking About Life podcast. Our guest today is Papelito Studio.nft. That is at Papelito, Papelito _STUDIO on Twitter. That's the handle. As always, we like to read our guest bios. Analogic and digital art, visual design, illustration, branding, NFTs, Deadheads NFT, VFriends, Farm Folk NFT, minting now, Deadheads coloring book out now, and there's a foundation.app link in the bio coming to us from Milan, Italy. We also like to thank our guests for coming to the show and giving us their time and sharing their knowledge and conversation with us, as well as thanking God and Source in the universe for whatever energy brings these guests, the light that keeps people coming to the show. And even if it's a few minutes late, at least we get the show going, and we could provide these episodes to the listeners. So thank you so much to the universe, and thank you, Papelito, for coming on. Um, I'm assuming I'll keep calling you Papelito unless you have another, name you want to kind of give. The show is all about passion and positivity. We're gonna get it started by you telling us, about what you're passionate about, what you're working on. But do you want to just, give us like a quick hello? Tell us, how are you doing today and how are you doing in general?
Okay. First of all, thank you, Kowski, for having me here. It's a big pleasure of being here with you and having this opportunity to chat with you. And yeah, Papelito is fine. Uh, it's Alessandro the name, but Papelito is the nickname in the space from where it comes. The Papelito Studio, it's a Spanish word. I'm Italian, but it's a Spanish word. It comes from little paper, and well, that's a neat name I've got, and I really got stuck with it and love it. So it represents me now in the space. Uh, okay, so I'm a artist and visual designer from Italy, and I got into the NFT space uh, thanks to Gary V in the May of 2021, as many of us uh, did. And I have been a designer, well, all my adult life. It's what I studied at university, but what I got into since way earlier, since the time I got to school, probably I was not really on books, but on paper drawings during any kind of lesson. And I think that's my call. And I'm now I got it into the digital space in a better way as soon as I managed to understand uh, the, the life behind the NFTs and the blockchain. I saw that that was really a possibility of going digital, but making it happen in a way more, how can I say, in a real way. It's not digital but impalpable, it becomes real. And I love that. And since then I really kept being in the space, and building and building, not really looking on how the market is going.
Yeah, so you're working, you're passionate. Papalito, let me roll you back 1 second. So
Oh
the
yeah.
name Papalito, you are an Italian man with a Spanish name. I mean, that
No,
sounds a
no,
little
no,
bit funny
no.
to me in general.
Okay,
But then
okay, okay.
beyond that, you're Papalito, right? Like that's little paper, like you said. I would think a man like you would want to be Papel Grande, Papel Fuerte, or some shit, like the big
No, no, no,
strong
no. Okay,
paper.
okay, okay. Let, let
Why
me
why
let
are
me
you the
explain.
little paper?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm gonna get to that. So, my surname in Italian is Foglino. That in Italian would be translated as little paper, or even better, as little sheet. And little sheet doesn't sound that good, you know?
Not if you say
Uh,
it in English.
Exactly. So, moreover, if you come in Italy, we do not have any way of real pronunciation between the vowels. What is E is just E for us. So, shit and shit, it's the same for us. So, that brings a big problem, as well as my surname, my Italian surname is not pronounceable as a sound from many English speaker people. Therefore, I found a way of still keeping my name, but in a different way. So I went for the Spanish one that can be pronounced by anyone. So Papelito, that was the thing.
Okay,
And
I like that.
even
And then, they're both Latin
even
languages. There's a lot of similarities between Spanish and Italian. The countries aren't
sure, and
crazy
even
far away, so I get it.
even on a little paper, you can have a really great artwork. It's not about dimension in this case. I mean, Mona Lisa is very small. If you ever get to see it, when you see it, is like, I don't know, an A4 or something. It's super small, the painting, and it's great artwork.
Yeah, where is that? The Louvre?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Paris,
I
I
had a
believe.
chance to see that at one point, and I don't want to sound like a dick to art like officials, but I was not impressed. I did not totally get it. Like I was like, you're right. It was small. It was like you couldn't
It's
get too close to it. I was like, I don't get it. I was
Look,
like,
I
I've
have
seen better
been.
PFPs, but I don't know. That's just me.
No, it's okay. Look, art is for me is totally a matter of perspective and subjectivity. It's totally 100%, in my opinion, in the eyes of who looks and in their mind and what they feel looking at that. I mean, you can see art everywhere, and if you are unlucky, maybe you wouldn't be able to see it anywhere, you know so it's really about perspective and the subject. So the art is in your eyes, it's not in an artwork itself, and that's what I love about that. That's what I totally love about that. And I mean, there are artists that talks to you and artists that don't, and that's cool. That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I agree. Not everything's gonna resonate, and that's what art is about. Finding what resonates for you. Now, Papelito, you mentioned going on that you are an artist, you're a designer, you're building, you're working, you're head down in the books, in the charcoal, in the paintbrush, whatever medium you're working with, you're head down, you're not looking at the floor prices, you're not looking at the market, you're just building and constructing. What are you working on though? What are you building? Like what kind of designs are you doing? Is it a project? Is it personal? Tell us all about that.
Okay, at the moment, I'm working well, I have an everyday work at a big brand. It's coffee machine brands, and I work in their marketing. So that's my 9 to 5, let's say. Other than that, I'm building this studio, and depending on the projects, I'm working alone or with few people that are helping me in that. So for a while, I have worked more deeply into the with the dead heads community.
What are you doing
Support
with them?
with them. I was an illustrator. I was promoting what was happening with the production of videos and animation, and that went on for a couple of years. Then,
Wait, how did you if you don't mind me asking, how did you get involved with
no,
that? Like how
please.
did you make that connection?
Look, uh, I got into the project once again thanks to Gary Vee talking about it on a podcast. Really do not remember which one it was. Um, and what happened was that I bought a few before reveal, and I got into the community. At that time, I had probably just the V friend that is also my PFP, um, the Driven Dragon, and I just bought a couple of dead heads for fun. I got into the community because on Discord was way more doable than the VFriends one. That was too hectic for me. It was just overwhelming. Um, while in the dead heads, I started to make few connections. One day there was a competition for the logo design, and long story short, I participated and I won it. And from that, I started to make
Hey,
more.
fucking congrats, bro. That's a big part of
Thank
this
you,
story.
man.
You won a fucking You're like, oh yeah, Dill work for Deadheads. Bro, you won a fucking
Yeah,
competition. Other people entered, other competitors, you slapped them out of your fucking path, bro. You won. Congrats.
thank you, thank you. So, well, I managed to win that. So I designed the logo for the Dads, and then I got more into the project, and they hired me as an illustrator for a while. And then the project moved on. I'm still part of it and a big supporter of that. Every now and then, I'm trying to release some merch or some fun stuff for the community. It's pretty full of legends for real, and it's really fun what's going on in their Discord. And they're still producing content and animation. It's the first animation NFT based animation that's on the space, the first that has been built. um, I have worked also for Farm Folk NFT, as you mentioned from my bio, and that's bio, sorry. and it's a super cool project. It's a bunch of farmers from Ohio, and they are building a farm, and they produce what they produce get in on the tables of less fortunate and less lucky people than us that cannot afford to buy a meal. And it's a project that resonated with me. I got into that through Deadheads once again, and they managed
Wait, wait,
to.
wait. When you say you got in through Deadheads, was it it's like a partner project with them, or
No,
how did?
no, it's not a partner. Just few people from the Deadheads gave me the contact. It was Ben, OX Ben, uh, and he threw me a bone, you know. So he said, "Hey, Papelito, try to draw me something," and he sent me a little sketch of from these people with a farmer, and I gave him my rendition, let's say Papelito style, and they fell in love with it and just asked me to draw the whole collection. Um, but about now, what I'm doing
Wait, you
is
said you drew
that
the whole collection?
yeah, yes, I did. Yes,
How
I
many
did. Uh,
collection?
Come again?
How many are in there?
They should have been 10,000.
So okay, so
Okay.
but you didn't draw all 10,000. You draw the traits and then a
Well,
computer,
I draw. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
but it's still a
It,
shit ton of work to make a
yeah,
10,000 collection of all those
mind
traits.
on them.
Wow, that's
Mind on
great.
them.
That's really
And
cool,
I
man.
can tell you the developers uh, hated me for a while. By the
Why?
way,
Why?
shout
Because it's
out
taking a
to
while.
because I designed so many traits. They have never seen such a thing. Well, at least that's what they told me. I don't know if it was just to say, but like I was burning their stuff with all the traits that I throw at them, and so we had actually to diminish the variety of traits
That's
because
funny.
they yeah, well, I got into it and I got a little crazy, you know. Uh,
Well, that's good. That means you're a passionate artist. I like that shit.
yeah, uh, but um, no, the thing is that farm folk is moving to become um, an entertainment, let's say, brand. So they are gonna produce content and have a series about what's happening in the farm, because that's the way to actually show what's going on. It's not just about okay. Uh, Here are the NFTs. You pay for them, and this way you fund us. It's come and see what's going on and how we get our hands dirty to help other people that are less fortunate than us. And
Now,
that
on
I
that,
think it's super cool.
I think it's super cool too. I love the whole idea of the project. I just want to get a little more detail. Where are these farms? Like you're in Italy. Is it in Italy? Is it somewhere else?
No, 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 no. Ohio, Ohio.
Oh, it's in
It's just
Ohio.
it's one farm. It's in Ohio. Well, if you check on Farm Folk NFT on Twitter, you can find every detail. Now they're pushing more the content on Instagram and through a platform called Entertainment, like MINT, not entertainment, entertainment. Through that, they're
Clever.
selling the tickets to the show, you know, as an
Wait,
NFT,
no.
clearly.
Oh, the
Um,
show, the animated show that they're producing.
no, actually, it's the real show. They have a director that they had a director there shooting uh, episodes of what they are actually doing.
Oh, it's not an animated show. It's
No, 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 no. It's a real show. It's a real thing.
oh
There are the people building the farm, and there is a director showing what they're doing.
oh I didn't
So
understand. I thought they were animating what they were doing. It's so they're literally so it's like a documentary almost thing. So there's like a crew or
exactly,
something, or
a
like
hundred
when they're
percent.
harvesting the crops, when they're planting this, like every step of
Yeah,
the way is like being filmed, and then they edit
exactly.
that into a show.
Building the chicken coop and giving the food to each chick.
That's awesome. And so, okay, so what's the model? Like, how do they make this sustainable though, right? Like, obviously, it's a beautiful thing to give to charity and to try to provide food for people who like, don't have enough money for it. But yeah, where's the sustainability? What's the business model? Like, how did they keep this running?
Look, it just started, and the idea was to start through NFTs. Well, they started without NFTs. Clearly, they started to build everything around the property. They thought of funding it through NFTs. Unluckily, the launch of the collection was through the bear market, so that was not very lucky as a time to start that. Uh, Now they're moving on, developing through the entertainment this new model with the production. They believe this will help them to fund everything to move on, to move to the next chapter.
Yeah,
So
so it's going to become
it's
like a farm, and then the media brand is going to be what supports like the funding for the farm, and
yeah,
then the
exactly,
NFTs could also come in at any point, and that could help. But that's the new like kind of fork in the road is like, okay, let's double down on our media production aspect, get like
exactly.
I guess
Look,
like advertising revenue, that type of thing, get people watching it. And I think you said they're selling tickets for the show, or you have to like pay
yeah,
to watch the
yeah.
show, or what was that?
No, they are selling tickets of the show. They are now minting on the entertainment platform. And as I was saying, is a construction site. What's going on? So they keep on building. I mean, actually building, not metaphorically building. They are actually building the farm as we speak, probably. Um, and the model of Web3 into this is still getting built as well. So the metaphorical part is there as well. The show
Wait,
has been
I'm
filmed.
getting a little bit confused. You're saying they're selling tickets though?
Yes,
For what?
the shoot the how do you say, the documentary has been shot
So what are the tickets for?
to see it.
To see it?
Yeah,
Oh, in the movie theater. It's airing live.
you will have your premiere.
Where is it? Where do you know where it's premiering? Is there like a date? Like is that all slotted out
No,
yet?
there is no date yet, but it has been filmed already, and you can see pieces of that through the content they are sharing on social media. And but it will be out the whole thing, now they are sharing the tickets. I mean, they're selling the tickets so you can get one, and then you will be able to see the whole thing when it's out.
Now the tickets, is that
Did
like
I explain
only
myself? Yeah.
live release, or it's also a ticket like you get a link, like you could do like a digital? Because I imagine it's going to be, unless it's in like
No,
all theaters across America, it'll be hard for people to physically show up. So I
no,
imagine
no,
that
no.
there's also a
You're
digital
right.
link.
You're right. There is going to be definitely a digital. There is going to be live event. There is going to be a bunch of stuff attached to the tickets, and moreover, there are going to be different tiers of tickets that will allow to get different stuff uh, depending on which ticket you are getting. So you can become a sponsor. You can become many things within the project. Did, does that make sense? Did I explain myself?
Yeah. I'm starting to get the picture around it now. I like the idea of it.
I'm not always sure that I express myself in English in a proper way, so and I'm a little bit confusionary.
There's people who only speak English that express themselves even worse in English than you do, and I have to deal with that. So you're fine. You're doing okay in my book.
Okay. Just make sure to make me the right question so that I can answer and explain myself properly.
Yeah,
And
exactly. Yeah, you're answering all my questions fine. Every once in a while, you say a word different than I would, but I don't give a fuck about that, man. Clearly, you're intelligent, know what you're talking about, and who gives a fuck about accents, man? Like at the end of the day, we're understanding each other. I feel that way. So as long as you do too, we are totally good.
awesome,
Now, Papelito, let me ask you, kind of going more into like your personal life, if you're okay, not too personal, but
no problem.
what like what was like your kind of coming up like from being like a kid to like, you're born obviously, or I don't know, obviously, but I think most people don't know, what they want to do the second they're born. There's like some sort of pathway from growing up to maybe trying something, trying this, trying that, or you saw something early, you always knew this is what you want to do, it was always a
Oh
passion, like
man,
the
look, I
journey
still
for you.
don't know what I want to do. I still don't know what I'm gonna do, and I kind of made peace with that myself. You know,
Well,
I
okay, but
think,
I'm saying what you're doing now. How did you get to, like, you're an artist, you're a designer, you're really successful at it, you're winning competitions, you're partnering. Like, how did you go from, hey, I'm a little baby, I don't have a job, to I'm an artist, I'm a designer, I'm winning how did, like, what was that path? Even if you don't know ultimately in life what the big thing is or whatever, well, how did you even get to here?
look, I believe that getting here was, well, it resonates a lot with the character I choose from the difference, you know, the driven dragon. I believe there is a drive we have, there is a drive I had, but I think everyone has it. And that has been guiding me through the steps I've taken, no matter if I knew where I was going or I didn't know where I was going, uh, and brought me here and is still driving me. And it doesn't really matter what your head says while you are walking. The thing is to not stop walking. So for me, it was doesn't looking back clearly, because there has been moment in my life, as in everyone's life, I believe, in which you do not know exactly what is happening. But looking back, I would say uh, there was always something helping me in pushing forward, even in the
Wait, you cut out there for a second. I
knowing
don't
what
know if you moved
to
or
do.
something. You just your audio is just cutting out a little bit. Yeah, I cannot I have no audio from you at the moment. You could try leaving and rejoining like quickly or something. I'm not sure. Wait,
Can
I
you
hear you
hear
again.
me?
Are you
Can you
there?
hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you again.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry for that.
Okay.
Uh,
No, keep going. You're good. You keep
no,
going.
I'm not dragging you, man. I'm here. I'm here. Well, what did you hear about what I said, though?
Um so basically, I don't know what the last word
Kalki,
you said was, but you were
answer to
building up
me,
to this
please.
explanation that, sorry, you were saying you've always had this calling, essentially, that you've always felt like pushed or pulled, even though you didn't know
Kalski,
exactly.
you
There wasn't
there?
always a clear picture in your head, but something was like moving you, and even when you didn't know, you had no picture in your head, you just kept walking, you just kept moving, you kept feeling like there's definitely some sort of next thing, there's some sort of next plateau.
You thought I was leaving you alone? No,
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 no, no. I
sir.
know it's
No,
Twitter
sir.
Spaces.
I'm
Twitter
here.
Spaces is the
Okay. Uh, Till where did you hear me, man?
Yeah, so I was saying, yeah, I heard what you were saying. Like, there's always been something calling you in life. There's always been something kind of pulling you in a certain direction, leading you. You didn't always know like what it was or where it was taking you or where you were going. You didn't always have one clear picture, but you've always had this like deep, kind of stronger sense of intuition that one day you were meant to do something, and that through all the like, microcosm, smaller steps of your life, you didn't know what that something was, but you just kept feeling like you were moving closer to it and getting a better understanding of what it was. And even today, maybe you don't know what the end goal is, but you still have this like passion, this intuition, this like calling where like something's pushing you, or you said maybe even something's like looking out for you or nudging you in the right direction.
Man, you said it so brilliantly that I do believe got the same feeling as I do.
I feel something.
It's
Yeah, I definitely resonated with me what you said.
it's like that. The thing is, never let yourself down, and even if you fall down, just pick yourself up. Don't take it hard on yourself, and you're good to go. I mean, it's okay. And with this kind of philosophy, even in the hardest moment, you can just stand up once again and keep walking, and that's great. I think, you know, there are, as an artist and creator, uh, you know, there are moments in which you find yourself maybe stuck, maybe a little less creative than other times, and that's okay too. I mean, the creative process is unique every time. I do not think there are methods to push, uh, methods to get to something. Creative process, at least for myself, is something really free, and every time can be a completely different experience from the previous one, completely different one, and that's the beauty of it for me, and that's what keeps me going. I do believe, for example, that I didn't find my style yet, and that's cool. Maybe I'm not supposed to find the style and to keep exploring, and that's cool by me. The acceptance part of oneself, I think, is really important to understand. To accept
Yeah,
yourself
I
for
and
who
I'm
you
hearing
are.
that from you because acceptance is kind of what brings about that peace and that just that like good vibes in your life because the same thing could be happening to someone and whether they accept it or whether they're like rebelling or fighting against it, it's a completely different energy within that person and that they're
Yes.
putting out. So, if you're always putting out this like, hey, whatever happens, I can handle it, I can do it, and that's your affirmation to the universe and that's your energy. I agree. I think you're going to keep, kind of pulling yourself and attracting yourself to good situations because you're accepting, and accepting is how you move forward. When you don't accept, you're resisting, and resisting is how you either stay in place or start pushing backwards or start moving away or repelling things. So accepting is, attracting, and it's moving and it's momentum and it's going forward. So I love that. Speaking of going forward, let me ask you this. I know you said you don't have like an exactly like big picture. Do you know like what you're focused on next, or are there some things like in the near
Sorry,
horizon,
Koski.
or it's really just in the moment?
Before I get to answer that, just to stay a second on the acceptance,
Oh yeah, of course. No, go as long as you want. Go
because
ahead.
I think it's a really important point. And
If
uh,
it's important, we got to stay on it. Do it.
so the thing is, acceptance is a very important part of oneself, as long as one is not just accepting anything just because it has to be accepted, but doesn't look the focus on getting better without forcing it, but just trying every day. I'm and looking at your feed, for example, at the fact that how is it called? Uh, like every day you need to show up, and if a day you don't show up, it's okay. You accept that. But the day after, it's not, okay, I accept my defeat. No, I don't do that. I keep on trying. And that's another very important point. It's a fundamental one that bring us on. And this was also part of my path, my journey. And uh, I think it has to be said together with the other parts of the acceptance conversation.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And also to clarify on that too, because this is important, I agree. You don't want to accept like abuse or like anything like bad that's happening to
Sure
you. Like,
thing.
you don't want to accept things that you really don't want. But what I would say is like, don't pretend in your head that they're not happening. Don't be in denial. Like when I say acceptance, I say, accept that that's happening, accept the situation, not so you could keep living in it, but so you could go forward, like I said, so you could react to it.
Bravo.
So it's like acceptance is like an awareness. And acceptance isn't always I accept this forever, but it's more like, yes, I see what's happening. I don't have to like pretend it's not happening. I don't have to go into like a mental defense denial mechanism type thing. So it's just accepting the truth, accepting reality so you can move either with it or out of it, whatever it is, but you got to accept that it's real
You
first.
explained it perfectly once again, and thank you, because I thought that was needed to say within the acceptance conversation.
My pleasure.
That said, to go back to your question about what's going on in the moment. Um, so at the moment I am at the moment I have few giveaways that I'm back on, and I'm a little late uh, giving away. Actually, I have to prepare them because they are custom work. Other than that, uh, Look, I want to expand because I really had fun and the feedback I got were amazing. I would like to expand my coloring book experience. So last year I had this idea of producing coloring books, and I did one for the Dads community. It's like it's my test community, you know. I mean, I made some friends there, and people really love the project. So I love to give something out for the people out there. So I did this black and white book that people can color, you know, coloring book, the traditional one. Attached to that, if you get one and you contact me and you ask me about that, I will send you a custom made NFT of which the color palette will be AI generated. So they are all different, you know, they are unique. Anyway, the feedback I got, it was really awesome because moreover, the winner of the giveaway, Party Ship, that's his handle on Twitter, um, was sending me amazingly beautiful drawings that he and his daughter were doing together, coloring on my book and saying, "Man, I do love this. I'm passing awesome time with my kid. It's all creation, all creativity, super beautiful and love flow going on in this time. And I'm still in the Web3, but in real life and enjoying time with the family." And I think that kind of feedback was, how can I say, man? I have goosebumps saying this. It was awesome. It was precious. It was what I wanted doing that book. So I really want
Wait,
to,
let me throw this at you.
yeah.
So, and I don't even know if I'm going to say it right, but so far we've got Spanish, we've got Italian. But to sum up what you're saying, I think it's like raison d'être or something. Like, but it's French for reason for being, like your purpose for life, like your essence, so to speak. But I'm probably fucking it up, bro. I'm not good at French. I think it's raison d'être, something like that.
Yeah, probably is raison d'être. And but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I think you said it
yeah,
better than me.
yeah. That is. I mean,
But yeah.
it was a unique sensation, and it was awesome. I mean, I just had the occasion of giving as a present not a book, but a beautiful moment for a family. And how can you top that, man? I mean, you don't. Well, you probably do, but I don't know. It's something as well so powerful. You know, it's incredible. I really love that. So I think that,
Yeah, man, it's giving joy,
and
right? Not just giving a thing,
man,
giving genuine
I can
joy.
say I took a couple of books myself and giving myself the time of coloring for no other pleasure than just being there and coloring. Oh man, it's like meditation. It was so relaxing you can't even imagine. It was so powerful as a as an activity that I how can I say, I forgot the pleasure of doing that as I was doing it as a kid. So for no other pleasure than just being there in the moment and having fun. When drawing and coloring becomes your profession, sometimes you may forget the pleasure of doing it just because you feel like it, and you want to, I don't know, have your way of going out of your mind for a second and just relax. And it was incredible. And this is another reason why I would like to do another couple books, because really I believe too many people forgot how beautiful it is to take a bunch of colored pencil and just throw the colors on a page, how you feel in that moment. And wow, it's such a powerful sensation.
And where let's say someone in the
Oh
audience
yeah.
is listening or someone who listens on a replay, let's say they're like, "Oh my god, I got to get one of these fucking coloring books. My kid would love this. I would love this. I want to try the meditation." Where does someone get one of these coloring books?
Amazon.com, have you ever heard of the site? No, just joking. Yeah, on
No, no.
Amazon.
Well, you're selling yours personally on Amazon?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, Amazon, of course, we've heard of it. How do we what's your thing? Like, how do we get to your
Well,
I'm sure if we put coloring book
sure,
on
no,
Amazon,
yeah,
like,
yeah, no, I was just joking. I'm sorry.
too many will come up.
No,
How do we get to Papelito?
this one, if you write Deadhead's Papelito Studio, it's gonna be the first one that pops up. Probably, even if you write just Papelito Studio, that's gonna be the first and only one that pops up. But it's easy. It's easy to find. The fact is that that's why I would like to implement the collection of coloring book to give, let's say, more occasion also to people that would like to color something else than little zombies and little mummies and ghosts. you know I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that for sure. As something else that's in the building, though, it's another NFT collection. It's still in the building, so I can disclose many things. We can say it's a derivative of CryptoPunks. Uh, it's gonna be just take the steps out of that, but and of special photographic techniques. I hope in the next months this thing will see the light, and I'm trying to get in contact with a couple of association. Um, Look, the main idea is just it's just a stupid project. It's not something so. Uh, it's not artistic. Well, it's not art based, and the only utility is gonna collect money once again to give them to who needs them and to the research and medicine. I can't say more because everything will be clearly explained once the collection is out. It's gonna be a funny, stupid thing. We'll manage to raise some money, and awareness as well.
Yeah, I think raising money, raising awareness, when it's for a good cause, think it's I think it's the right thing to do.
It's still really in the building, so I can't say a lot about it. It's it's just words now out
No,
of
I
my
get it. I
mouth,
get you
and
got to keep it
it
kind of
doesn't
under
really
wraps.
make sense. But
Don't break any of your non-disclosure agreements. Don't get in any trouble here. We don't want that.
no, no, they're with myself. I mean, the idea was mine, but I can't. Uh, I can't reveal anything
Totally.
yet. I don't want to rug expectations now.
All good. Let me ask you something else. Some of what you're saying, your philosophies and your views, some of it maybe sounds like bordering on religious. Are you in any way religious? Do you subscribe to religion? Is that part of your passion? Does that influence like the rest of your worldview, or is this like coming from somewhere else? All these ideas,
Well, I wouldn't say I'm religious. No, I'm not religious. I may get spiritual, let's say, but no religious. I
and what
am.
is so a lot of my guests say that spiritual, not religious. I say that myself. I also say I'm spiritual, not religious. But it doesn't always mean the same thing to different people. So what does it mean to you?
Um, I do believe there are more things than the one we actually see and touch every day. Uh, I do believe there are things that are way beyond our comprehension. And okay, even physics is behind my comprehension, but still I can touch it, and I believe in gravity. So I, I'm talking about bigger stuff, and uh, I don't know. I do believe in a general order that we may not comprehend, and probably that's what I mean when I say I'm spiritual. I I do understand what people may call God, the concept, let's say, and I don't disagree with it. I just disagree in the ways that many times this is used or that this is thought about. That's why I don't accept the religious kind of description. Not in a bad way, I'm cool with that. But that's why I think of myself more as spiritual. I do believe we have a soul, let's say, just to get it in a few words.
Yeah, I believe the same. Or I mean, I believe even more than that. But yeah, those are core tenets of what I believe too. I also, when I say spiritual, not religious, mean I think there's something much bigger than all of us. There's some sort of framework or something. You talked about physics. You said some of it goes over your head, but there's a mathematical number. I don't know if you've ever heard of it,
P?
called phi,
Yeah.
PHI. You know about it? Yeah, I think it's like 1.618. So, as an artist, maybe you've heard about it, but it's this ratio. It's called the golden ratio, where anything in this ratio is like perceived as more beautiful to humans. Like if you see another person and their face is closer to the ratios of this number phi, like those are the people, those are like the Brad Pitts and the Angelina Jolie, like those are the people that generally people find
Oh man,
attractive.
golden
Um,
ratio has been used since ancient Greeks,
Right.
all over the
It's to
place, from
build buildings in the
architecture.
correct
Yeah, but
proportions. Flowers
it's
grow
used
by it.
nowadays
It's so
in
many things.
photography and artwork. And I mean, imagine that even the Apple logo is based on golden ratio, and those numbers are used to build the conferences, to build the curves that are composing the apple. It's used all over the place, golden ratio. And yeah, I mean, all these kind of stuff that are behind things. And there are, I believe, countless that we didn't find yet and we may never find, nonetheless are there, and we follow their rules without even knowing that.
Right, I agree with you. It's like, phi is one of these things we found. Like we our technology and our measurement equipment got to the point where we were like, "Hey, we've noticed this pattern." Like, how many fucking patterns are there we haven't noticed, right? Like what is there out there that we do not yet have the equipment to measure, right? Like there was a point where we didn't have microscopes and telescopes and fucking thermometer. Like what are we gonna invent one day that fucking measures? And we're like, holy fucking shit, look at this. Like I think phi is pretty fucking cool. I agree with you. Like even if you don't believe in quote unquote magic or a particular religion, to me there's this magical part about the mathematics of the universe. Even if you're like a physicist or whatever it is, like so I don't see, when I say spiritual, not religious, I believe that whatever spirituality is, if it's real, that it has to align with physics, not disprove it, and that we're just coming to eventually get the technology, or who knows how far we are, but I mean, and with AI, I guess we're getting closer, but that we're trying to get to a point where we have the capability to understand these much deeper truths that aren't quote unquote magic. There's some like deep mathematical or atomical or quantum physics principles, and they seem like magic, but it's just a very highly advanced kind of like level of science or some sort of universal energetic shit that like we just haven't figured out how to fucking measure yet. Would you kind of I mean, I went a little bit more than what you said, but would you kind of agree with most or
A
some of that?
100%, man, 100%. It's just we are getting a little percentage of what's around us, and many times we pretend we figured it all out. And I'm not saying it's impossible to do that. It's just we are not even close yet. We are not close yet. Uh, Look, thinking about it lately, I was having this idea that at the end, if you think about the number of cells we have in the brain, all the cells we have all over our body, all the molecules we are made, we are we are little universes. Okay, uh, if you see the number of stars in the universe, and then you see the number of brain cells we have, you can see that kind of connection, meaning that you can see within your body as your brain works. It may or not be aware of everything going on. And then you could consider yourself as a metaphorical god of your universe being within your body. Uh, so you actually do know sometimes what's good for you or not, and you may do good things for yourself and bad things for yourself. Someone is smoking, that's not good for your health. Nicotine is not good for your health. Vices are not good for your health, and still you do it. At the same time, uh, you may see things you don't like within the universe, and we are all part of that. And some things will not be good, but they're just balancing the other. It's I don't know if I can really explain what I have in my mind and what I'm trying to say right now. The thing is that we are small complexities in ourselves, and as a part of a big, more complex thing. And that itself, I mean, we
I think if I could
just
just
a second,
maybe I can help you out
what's
here.
outside, it's in the inside, and what's in the inside, it's in the outside. We totally
Yeah, I was
reflect.
gonna say, I think one way to say what you're saying is within the microcosm that we are is a reflection of the macrocosm that the world or the
Thank you,
universe is,
thank
correct?
you. Next time I'll ask you directly instead of trying myself.
I mean, bro, you gotta try. You gotta try
Yeah.
yourself. I mean, you know what I mean? There's value in the way everyone says things, but
Well,
you said you were trying to kind of figure it out. So I said, hey,
when you
I'll help.
put these out on Spotify, you can just erase the last 2 minutes, put your phrase, and that's it.
Ah, no way, baby. It's all raw, baby. It's all the Cassie 100%.
Down.
No, we gotta love it. We gotta show the people that you make mistakes, you keep going, you don't give a
Sure
fuck, you
thing,
have the
sure thing,
confidence.
sure
It's
thing.
fucking that's
Man,
the
just
real
the fact,
shit, bro. That's the fucking recording while you
man,
build, bro. That's them fucking doing the documentary on the
sure,
farm, bro. Don't miss a
sure.
fucking thing. Get every fucking
And
detail of the real
look,
shit.
and I'm loving doing this with you because I'm putting myself out there. I wouldn't have done it till 2022. I'm just using this year as an excuse of doing more of what I love, as well with things that scares me. This is one that scares me. I don't love it, but I'm loving it, and it's okay. It's okay. I mean, it's all.
Yeah, I mean, the only way to get better at public speaking is to speak publicly. Most people don't love it. I started out not loving it, but I got the advice very early. I think from my dad. He's like, "Yeah, dude, this is gonna be one of those things. Everybody fucking hates it. It's like the number two fear after death." He's like, he's like, you might as well just get started now. Like first grade, second grade, start raising your hands. Like it's like if you, he was like, if you could master this, like it'll be a big advantage. It's something almost nobody could fucking enjoy
Oh man,
doing. Like give it a
I'm
shot.
so
He's like, I didn't figure this out till I was like 40. So if you start now, you'll be better off. I was like, got it. That was I didn't make everything perfect. My parents taught me, but that was one of the lessons I got.
man. I'm so bad at this, but still, I want to do what I, what scares you, to go out there and to get out of the comfort zone, and whatever is sad, that's difficult. It helps you along the way after, and so that's why I'm trying this and I'm enjoying it at the end. I'm
Exactly, man.
loving
That's
it.
where growth happens, bro. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. If you're comfortable, you're not growing. That's why they call them growing pains. Because growing, yeah, it's got a little bit of a discomfort associated
Most
with it.
definitely, most definitely.
Let me just let you know here. So we're in about like the last 10 minutes or so. If you want, I always save the last 10 minutes for like a hyper self-promotion spotlight. So if this was like a talk show and you were releasing a book, you'd say where you were signing at the date, that type of thing. If you want to just like re-highlight the children's book or anything you're selling kind of thing, if you want to like just re-promote that at the end here, like for the listeners, just give yourself the spotlight. Try to drive some revenue or attention or follows to you. We could go ahead and do that. Otherwise, it's just a conscious reminder. We have about 10 minutes. And if you don't have anything you specifically want to promote, we could just keep chatting it up. Or if you have any questions you want to ask me, sometimes I forget to ask people, but people have questions for me. We could do whatever you want. Last 10 minutes here.
Okay, no, to promote myself, I need like 30 seconds, and it's not going to be a big promotion. It's just going to be a few details where to find me, where to write me, and the fun with that. No, I believe, well, I'm trying everything I can to manage to be this year at VCon. So I hope you'll be there, Kowski, so we'll see each other live. Um, and
I'll be there.
okay. And well, I will try my best to be there. I mean, it's not that easy for me to come to the US. Moreover, now it's kind of expensive, but let's see if I'll manage at least this year. Last year I lost my occasion, and well, I would love to meet as many V friends people as I can, and chat with everyone. uh, hopefully, if you want to get in contact, well, the handle has been said from Kowski is Papelito Studio, is Papelito underscore studio, studio, and anyone connecting, it would be really a pleasure for me to talk and to chat and share ideas. Whoever wants collaboration or whatever comes in your crazy mind, I'm always up for ideas and stuff. And no, well, I do have also an art collection that I launched on Foundation. That's another marketplace for NFT, still Ethereum blockchain. Uh, and well, we'll maybe we'll talk about this collection another time. I'm sorry, I didn't take uh, the time to describe about that because it's something i really I really love. I love creating that because it has been a project for a few years of my life, and I just released the ones that I found this beautiful space than the Web3 is and the NFTs. I produced mm, digital drawings. They are digital portraits or of women, and I made a collection of 22 pieces that were released on the 22 of February of 2022. And you know, it's uh, it's about uh, self intimacy. You know, it's a collection that talks about the way in which you talk to yourself and you have a conversation with yourself. And that's what, after I made the drawings, what I could see in those. So, uh, as I was saying, for me, art is in the eyes of who perceives it and who looks at it. And if while drawing I didn't have an idea of what I wanted to represent, after I have done the drawings, I had something that came into my mind. And so I was actually, let's say, audience to my own art. And through that, I started a process that I really loved, for which I wanted to put out this art for other people to enjoy and see as well. And well, that can be found in the link in my bio from Twitter or on Foundation app, at Papelito Studio as well. And what else, man?
Papelito, question for you here. In regards to everything we're talking about, have you heard of Linktree? Do you know what Linktree
Yeah, I
is?
should do one, right?
100%. And if you need like help with one or something, like I tell almost everybody who comes on the show this, because like we always get to this part and
Man,
then it's
where
like,
is your
yeah, come
link
check this
tree?
out. We're like, where the fuck do we go? And it's like 130 different places. I'm like,
Okay,
do you have a
just
link
go.
tree?
No, no, I don't.
You people I've known, and they got a link tree up since I mentioned it to them. So I'm really proud of them. I love when like I see that positive change
Okay.
because that's how I got my link tree up. I was on a space and I was like telling people, yeah, I do like art, I do like photography, like I sell
Yeah, where
clothes.
do we see
They're
your
like,
thing?
okay, so where the fuck is any of this? I'm like, on the internet. They're like, you an idiot? You need a link tree. I'm like,
Okay,
what's link
so
tree? Like, I didn't even like. I was like, so now I try to pay that forward. Anyone else who doesn't have a link tree, I'm like, I'm gonna save everybody like that. I don't even remember who it was. Thank you to whoever that was that told me. But I'm gonna save everybody like someone
okay,
saved me.
Kowski, we do it like that. So for Nealis that is listening here now, you can go in my bio on Twitter and you will just find everything in there. For every
There will be a link tree. Link tree coming.
of Papelito, and from that you will go everywhere.
Perfect.
Just
All right, yeah, cool.
just
So
go
last
check
couple
from
minutes here.
tomorrow.
So I'll close out, kind of thank the audience here in a second. I just want to make sure any last things you want to say, like to the listeners, to anybody who's aspiring to be an artist like you, any kind of like last quote, aphorism, like last like sentence or something like that, and then I'll go ahead and thank the listeners and close out.
Spread love, take care of yourselves, accept yourself, and try to get better in any way and every way possible. That's it.
Love it. And so I just want to thank Nihilism, I see you in there. You were a listener in the show. Some other people popped in and popped out. If you ever listen to the replay, thank you guys also for coming to the show. We always really appreciate the listeners and sharing your time with us. Papelito, I said it in the beginning, but I'll say it again. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I think a lot of our philosophies, we kind of jived and vibed on a lot of different things. And I'll tell you, like, when I first started public speaking, my whole body would sweat. I'd get nervous. I had to like look at a script. I couldn't do it like just, in the moment kind of thing. I could only read something I had prepared written. I had to do that a bunch of times. I was like dry heaving, throwing up. So some people say, "Hey, you're pretty damn good at public speaking," and I'm like, "Yeah, I wasn't born like that, man." You know what I mean? Like you gotta. I threw. You know how many times I fucking threw up,
Okay.
or didn't even have anything to throw up. My stomach was empty, and I'm just retching because I'm nervous about something I have to speak in front of people. So sometimes you got to push through it, but if you do, I'm relatively comfortable with it now. Sometimes if I'm speaking in front of a large crowd, I still get like a little sweaty stomach kind of thing.
Sure
But no
thing.
matter what, I'm pushing through it. So 100%. So thank you for pushing through it. Thank you for coming to the show. Thank you for being vulnerable with us. Thank you for sharing, like everything you're doing. I think it's a lot of cool stuff. It's positive, it's passionate, it's helping the world, and that's what Talking About Life podcast is all about. And then the last message, or sorry, one last thing. If you enjoyed the podcast, if you're getting value out of it, obviously, if you hated it, I don't expect you to like it and retweet it. But if you did get value out of it, please, like, comment, retweet the space. Send it to your uncles and your relatives and your cousins and the clerk at the supermarket. Send it to everybody if you'd like. Anyway, the last message that we have here that we always close out on, it's a message from our friend Afakasi Brand. And that message that is, if you haven't heard it today, you are loved. Universe is full of energy. There's all these different philosophies, but it's undeniable that, the universe is here, we're in it, and there's energy. All of that energy, one way to look at it is the energy of love. So not only are you loved, you are the energy of love itself manifesting. But if you haven't heard it today, you are loved.